and the Ravens playing tonight in a week 1 matchup for preseason. And there's been a lot of hype during the offseason about Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones pretty much going to be in a competition for starting position at that quarterback position. Now, Anthony Richardson has looked at times like he could have a lot of talent. However, he's had a lot of injuries so far in this league. And he was supposed to play about a quarter and a half kind of going into tonight. And then Daniel Jones was going to start the second game. But he was injured pretty early. And from the looks of it and the picture that we saw, he dislocated his right pinky finger, his 5th digit there. So it looks like it was a clean dislocation as far as they were able to relocate it back with no problem. Now, I would imagine he's going to MRI just to make sure there's no ligament damage. But typically those are just joint capsule issues. So the capsule has been stretched, but it's going to take some time to heal. So as long as there's no ligament damage, I don't think this keeps him out too long. But I would imagine he might be out at least another week or 2 just to let him heal.
Yeah, Colts are one of the couple teams that are going through a quarterback competition. You know, most teams have their quarterback solidified, and so it was definitely an intriguing one. You know, and I would imagine the Colts brass would like a 4th pick in the draft of a couple years ago to be the one to, grab this by the horn and it be his job. I'm sure that would be the preference. But it's been a challenge to keep him on the field. And here we are, week 1 of the preseason, and we're kind of in the same boat that we've been with him the last couple of years. And so with him and Daniel Jones, I think they have different assets. Like as far as like the big play, I think Anthony Richardson kind of brings that. They both can use their legs. They both have success with that. I would say maybe like the safe quarterback, if you will, is Daniel Jones. And so, but I mean, that was my mindset going into tonight. Like, I'm sure it's a competition, but if it can go one way or the other, it's like, damn, like, are we going to pick a journeyman or someone that, like I just said, was the 4th pick in the draft? The only crazy thing though is Richardson, he played 15 college. He had 15 college starts. So we didn't see a lot of him there. His NFL career, where he's had some bright spots, it's been up and down because of injuries. And so, yeah, it's interesting. The Colts have not won a opener in the regular season since 2013. So thought that was interesting. 12 straight years with losing a game in the first for the first game. Guess who they play this year? The first game.
Have
Miami.
not looked at that yet. Oh,
Miami.
Oh.
So speaking of the Dolphins,
it better not be the one.
Yeah, the one. That's what I'm thinking. The odds are it's going to happen. But anywho, yeah, tough blow. But because, I mean, especially when you're in a competition, like an injury is the one way that could really sway that. And so definitely tough blow. And it just tends to happen a lot with him, unfortunately.
Yeah, you make some great points with the amount of games he played in college. 15, right? And that reminds me of a draft pick a couple years ago that got a lot of hype. That would be Trey Lance, right? And that was a big knock on him, that he only played like in the past whatever amount of years. It was like 15 games or something. It was around that similar total where they're like, well, he hasn't played a lot, so maybe him sitting out a year would be good for him because he just really hasn't played. And it kind of showed early on, and obviously he wasn't able to do anything in San Francisco. He's now moved on to Dallas and then moved down to the Chargers now. So hopefully he can, if he's getting reps or he has to come in for like a Justin Herbert at some point, hopefully right now he's at least learned something in the NFL. But it just looked like he wasn't up to par because he didn't play enough in college. And that kind of reminds me of Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, there's teams that when, they're maybe not like a clear pick, they kind of try to catch lightning in a bottle. You obviously see like the raw talent and it does attract you. And obviously most people think maybe they could develop that person enough. They want to get the next Josh Allen. Not that Josh Allen didn't have experience in the college level, but he didn't go to a huge school, right? Going to was it Wyoming, or I think it was University of Wyoming. Yeah, and so I think sometimes you try to kind of follow that path and hope that you can get somebody like him, or somebody, you know, half of the talent that he's had in the NFL. But yeah, that's definitely a good comp. And so we'll see. I mean, it's still very young, and there's still a lot to be given, or a lot out there for him. And so I really, really hope he could at least stay on the field. If he stays on the field and it's like, you know what, he's not learning, he's not picking up progressions, he's not finding the open man, he's not taking the sack when he should, and not throwing the ball away, that kind of stuff you would figure out. But when he's not out there, it's like, man, like it's always a question mark. Will he stay healthy? And then if he was healthy, you know, how talented and how much, you know, he'd mean to us. So it's pretty, will be interesting to see if he can come back in the preseason, you know, and show out.
Yeah, you hate to lose a competition from injury, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you at least want to see him get a chance to kind of prove himself in the rest of the preseason. But at this point, like, you know, they might be going with the veteran to start the season to at least see if they can actually get some wins with this franchise, right? So it'll be an interesting battle down the stretch, but hopefully I don't think it's going to keep him out too long. But, you know, it's just one of those things where it sucks to see, and let's see if he can kind of progress and be healthy for the following week.